Dover Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the Formula One. So y'all check this out. Okay, we know that I like to call this year in the Formula One the Drive for Five. It's all the way live, no jive, right? You got two four-time world champions in Sebastian Vettel and your boy Lewis Hamilton. Four times, right? So that's why they're driving for five. Now, you only have two people in front of them. Fangio, right? I told you he was driving TVs was black and white. And Michael Schumacher, the best of all time, who has seven, right? Seven championships. Okay? These guys, we know Lewis Hamilton won in Hockenheim over the weekend. It was an awesome race coming from 14th place and coming all the way back to win the race with a lot of things going on. Sebastian Vettel, who had got that pole position, right, was leading by about 8 seconds and really had one of his biggest faux pas that he's had in a while where, he's leading. It started raining a little bit, but I just think he lost concentration for a second and landed in that keys, whatever you call that sand area. And what happens is he couldn't get up out of there. So he basically threw this race away. Now, Lewis Hamilton coming from 14th, getting all the way back and winning that race in Hockenheim was huge. Now he's ahead at 17 points. So, the emotion for Lewis Hamilton on that weekend, first, in qualifying, having some problems with his car, not even able to finish qualifying, starting on 15th or 14th or 15th on the grid, you have bad feelings. Wow, man, I'm fighting for the top, and this happens to me. But to come back to win, then all of a sudden he's elated. Sebastian Vettel was feeling bad. But 2 weeks ago in Silverstone was the exact opposite. Vettel won on his home turf, right? This is, I'm telling you guys, this is Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. Every time these guys come out on the track, it's legendary. Okay? These guys here are not fighting just to win this year. They won't say it, right? They won't say it yet because they're a little bit far away from it. But I'm gonna say it for them. Both of these guys are trying to become the all-time great in Formula One history. That's what they're racing for, guys. Trust me, right? The guy who gets five championships is only two behind Schumacher, and we thought that was going to be a long, long way away to get Schumacher with seven. But these guys are not 40 years old yet. They got about 7 years to get two titles or three, and I know they think they can possibly do it. They both signed extended their contracts to do so. Guys, I'm trying to tell you this right now. Every race from Formula One right now, just like every tennis match, when you see Federer or Rafael Nadal, you have to be paying attention. It is legendary, right? There's no doubt about it. Let me give you a few stats. For example, in pole positions, I said in my last video, Lewis Hamilton leads the all-time list in pole positions now with about 76. Next is Schumi with 68, right? So he's six or seven, no, eight pole positions in front of Michael Schumacher. If you're in front of Michael Schumacher in anything, you a bad boy. And even Vettel is about 13 behind him in pole position, right? So you're looking; these guys are really close in every aspect of racing. Now Schumacher, his records are ridiculous. Like Schumacher has 91 Formula One wins. Ain't nobody close to that. Okay, that was number 66 for Lewis Hamilton. Right, he's 25 behind Schumacher. That's gonna take a little while to do. Now Vettel has 51 wins, right? These guys are right there, and they're awesome, man. Remember Silverstone and Vettel was in second. They had a super start and just went right past Lewis Hamilton, right? So they're going to be fighting back and forth. Now the Max Verstappens of the world are going to be trying to, handle their business. They ain't trying to hit all this legendary status. Max Verstappen don't want to hear that, right? He ain't trying to hear that. But like I said, for the number two drivers, you got to win early. The Valtteri Bottas and the Raikkonens of the world, they're right there. But when you don't, when qualifying come, you need to be getting in front of these guys, right? Because if not, you're gonna have teams talking about let them pass for the championship and stuff like that. We ain't got time for that, man. We're only on the 10th race. It's the middle. I think personally, before I sign off, I'm gonna say this. I think personally, we shouldn't have teams letting the other guy pass for nothing, right? Until the last 4 or 5 races. We have 20 races, then it should be the last 5 races. Excuse me. The last 5 races of the year. Before that, there should be no passing. If the number two driver is in front, then he's in front, right? shouldn't be passing. I know that sometimes you have a different strategy that you're driving and things like that, right? But it's really bad when you see a guy, number two driver, in front of the number one driver, and he has to let the guy go past him. And I've tried to say to these drivers, you got to do things early in the season, because if you don't, and if you don't, they're going to be doing this for the rest of the season. Now I think Bottas and Raikkonen are not too far off from these guys, right? Imagine if Vettel and Lewis Hamilton drop out, technical difficulties for a race or two, and one of these guys, these number two drivers, or so-called number two drivers, win those races. They're right in the championship. So it's still something to fight for. I don't think we should be letting nobody pass until the last 4 or 5 races, right? But anyway, back to the top. These guys are driving for all-time great status. So keep your eye on the Formula One. It's all about Sebastian Vettel and your boy Lewis Hamilton being all-time greats because they're already legends. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, and I'm about to hear y'all.